ci different government institution but am na message boo xam ne teg ngeen ko ci mooy bu fekkee they fail to act ci petition yi nga xam ne jox ngeen leen ko another protest dina am te bii dina different from just rek ñëw si youth management bi from National Assembly to state comme wax boobu yenn panélistes yi am nañ ci different views yow mi nga xam ne membre nga ci kii boobu mbootaay boobu noonu muy Gala wax bi yow naka la ndax loo leen miin la wala da ngeen amul hope ci government bi ne li ngeen nekk di sàkku ci moom du ko def am li nan nga ñu mën a explainer loolu.
waaw definitely because ñaaka olute mu ngi fa number one because luwaay moom ñu ngi fii ñoo xam ne ñoom ñoo sàmmu loo ñun lu ñooy fight waruñ koo fight su fekkee ne government institution bi ñu ngi def seen liggéey bi because National Assembly bi luwa bi dafa set trop ak National Audit Office bi ne every year 3 months before the end of the financial year dina audit National Audit Office dañu war a account wala audit all the books of government institutions ak private sectors institutions yoo xam ne ñu ngi doxal nguur gi pour ñu mun a xam te suñ demee ba feel like that there is a corruption mismanagement of public fund ak anything that report bi recommendation should send to the Inspector General of Police te kooku dafa war a pick up that information bi and do a criminal investigation and koo xam ne dañ ko found wanting that person should be prosecuted loolu mooy luwaa bi nga jógee foofu nga am National Assembly moo xam ne tamit is an oversight body tamit luwaa bi may na ko doole pour mu mun a account all government institutions yi and su fekkee ne gis na any mismanagement wala mu am alleged mismanagement of war nañ koo investigate suñ ko investigate they must come with a recommendation from the particular committee bi te committee boobu they have to put their report before the whole parliament bi mooy the plenary bi suñ ko defee foofu tamit ñoom suñ ko adopté bañ ko def they will come with a recommendation boobu luwaa bi tam may na Inspector General of Police pour mu jël loolu mu def a criminal investigation so su fekkee ne nguur gi doon def loolu ñun jamono bi waruñoo génn because we are very clear from the COVID-19 fund bi boo xam ne dugg na si dëkk bi fii millions of dollars yi moo ñëwoon jamono COVID after the COVID bi National Assembly create a special committee boo xam ne investigate in regards to the money bi fan la dugga kan moo dugga fan xaalis bi yëpp to for people to be account for it then find out ne there were so many monies yi ñoo xam ne they went into individual pockets minister bi sax ñëw na to the floor of the parliament bi sax mu ne leen people sax dañ dem ba dugal xaalis yi yoo xam ne seen individual pockets yi confess na loolu wax na tamit ñoo xam ne sax payment bi sax dañooy def tour yi yoo xam ne sax they are not even the staffs of the ministry bi ñu def seen tour bi so that they pay them their COVID allowance yi loolu yëpp minister bi wax so already it's very plain ne corruption was there mismanagement of public fund theft was there so lii yëpp laws yi ñu ngi fa we have crime what we call soo demee si economic crime act bi it's very clear nit ñoo xam ne when you abuse your office wala nga embezzle estate money bi luwaa bi war la lu mu war a def so automatically luwaa si ñu ngi fa bon ñuy defuñ ko so loolu moo tax ñun Gala ñu jóg ñu xam ne the citizens are the owners of the country soo demee si chapter 1 of the constitution bi loolu moo nekk the mandate of the government is to promote the general welfare of its citizens te loolu su ko defut rek citizens has the right pour ñu demand the right thing to be done te Gala that's what they are doing they are exercising their fundamental rights as the citizens ñoo xam ne they are the auditors of this country so that's why we look at all these pending issues yoo xam ne they were still pending the government is not acting on them then you look at lan la then we came with the COVID-19 issue bi ñu wax ne tamit audit reports yi yu bari audit si dañ ko dee def fii ba président dem sax mu dooleel audit report bi ak government institution boo xam ne is established by an act of parliament ñu def investigation the president was like ne the audit is just an opinion xam nga loolu you are now what you are doing you are encouraging people to just disregard that institution so if it is an opinion we will not have an office boo xam ne budget is allocated for them from our national coffers yi pour ñu mun a def liggéey boobu our vehicles are provided for them huge amount of money more they invest into the national audit it's for a purpose pour lan la pour nga daa have corruption nga daa have mismanagement for people to be accountable for their action that's the purpose of the National Audit Office so that's not just a mere opinion but it's facts that are established until proven otherwise the proven otherwise should be done by the court so yow suñ demee ba def loolu you take the matter Inspector General of Police mu def investigation ku found one thing mu def la so ñu loolu lañ gis ñu gis ne COVID-19 fund bi ba tey is still the report is catching dust government is not doing anything about it ñu xool ports authority is after the recommendation because my dégga suma brother bi di wax ne is still before the Minister of Justice for legal advice loolu when was the investigation done by the police fraud squad almost léegi we are going into the second year just for a legal opinion but gis nañ Banjang case here it just take the police to do the investigation after Mustapha def loolu police within 2 weeks Bamba yóbbu nañ ko court and he was prosecuted ñu sentence ko But at the end of the day, what happens? He is pardoned by the government. But there are people they are still in mile two. So what are you telling us? You are encouraging people to continue to mismanage public funds, to mismanage state resources. So little more a problem. And we didn't have any issue we are taking side with any local government or central government. Our objective, Gala, is to fight corruption in respective of one institution, and people have to be very clear. But we have to understand, there are procedures you have to follow. We cannot just jump because of nothing you def. Commission of Inquiry is established. We are not talking since protest business. If you look at all the 5 demands, the Jammeh asset is not part of it, because that was our first protest for the government to come out with the list and also set a special committee commission more investigate that matter. And government, the president came before the national TV, more address the state and give us assurance that they will establish establish a special investigation team. But come the National Assembly is there, the National Assembly. We believe in National Assembly will do the right thing. This protest, that is not there. Because now is ongoing, and unless recommendations are out, everything is out, we cannot interfere into those processes. The same thing happens to the local government. It's ongoing at this material time. But Nine Harbor report, but the audit report, $7 million for the Taliban Sudan, is part of our today's demand. Because audit report, any report audit nako, and they are finally then Buga National Assembly to make sure that the Inspector General act on those things, and so the relation demand that $7 million is part of it. So we are not discriminating anybody, but the local government is a process. But it falls under the mandate of the National Assembly or the National Audit that council that central government if the audit report is done and dusted and now it's left to recommendation, we are calling all the audit reports they are final recommendation. We want the government to implement it to the fullest. So if that $7 million, they cannot produce the receipt because National Assembly give them a time because receipt bobu amna. If they cannot produce it, but they're gonna send it to National Assembly, and we are not relying on. So by Hellman, I comment on that section. The report is not for the social media. The receipt is not for the social media to show him. It's to take it to the National Assembly to vet that report, that receipt, that they tally with the reality. So if they adopt accept that is the true view of the $7 million. Then we are okay, that's the institution. But so we will demand for it, and so government will devote to next protest will make sure that we follow all these institutions. And Gala is not only stopping there. We have what we can apply for any mandamus application before the courts. Call on people that they are found by corruption. So we are not just stopping going to the street and other things. But you are a pressure group, you have a timeline, because we are not just going to the street, wasting our time. By government on their own. That's why we give them 3 months, and I think 3 months is enough. Already there's a government institution, they did the investigation, and the recommendations are there. If you find you don't feel like that is wrong, challenge them to court to say that but as far as you didn't do that, we will make sure that we follow these things. So you know position at this material. We are not taking any favors, and Gambian people should understand. We are not against government, and the government would job. And very clear, when we were first arrested, politicians came there, and our clear messages were very clear to the politicians. When you come to our show, Gala, you came there as a citizen of the Gambia. You don't came there because you are mayor or you are a deputy mayor or you are politicians. No, you are there as and we see you as an ordinary citizen. Nobody will steal this show. This is non-political, and we are there to make sure that we hold government accountable so that resources of the state move them to the consolidated revenue of the state rather than going into individual pocket. Limotion demands it. And their protest is based on Gambia Port Authority, Football Federation, the COVID-19 funds, the National Audit report, and the AKI case, the issue of the these are the only demand. There is no other thing like the assets, because we know that all these people are. So we are treating everyone equally. Government will investigate, we will never interfere there. We give them the respect, and we will allow them to exhaust it. But that's where our power starts, and that's why we will demand for implementation of those recommendations. So Lolo is in position.
Okay, 3 months in my government, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Benen bi tamit moy ci seen bi tay protest bi nga xamne amna gis nañ message yi nga xamne ngay def ndax fo ngeen ne overall are you guys hopeful ne message bi nga xamne joxe ngeen ko turnout bi num ñëwé ñu nit ñi bare because ñu bari na this is one of a kind comme ñu gis nit ñu bari ba paré mu nekk bisu liggéeyu kay ñu bari génn ñëw Are you guys hopeful?
Yeah, we are very hopeful because so whole protest you didn't have fee when we write to the suñ kayit yi ne ñoo xam ne dañu war a receive suñ petition bi we went to the police to make sure that let them summon all those people to be present on the ground bi and so whole before very rare you have never seen nga summon a minister of justice bi nga gis a senior koo xam ne Thomas is not a small person in the ministry of justice. After Dawda Jallow his second in command he moom mooy di director of civil moom mooy di solicitor general kooku du kundaw after the minister of justice da nga dee am so kooku su waree ñëw to receive the petition on behalf of the government of the Gambia loolu wone nañu Ablaye Cissé is also the majority side of the parliament moom moo nekk second in command after Bile G Tunkara kon loolu wone na ne Gala ñoom léegi fu mu nekk ne government ñu ngi ñoo déggulu gis nañ tamit bu national sport council ñu bañ a ñëw we said we are not moving at the end of the day lan moo xew they have to go and transport him to come and answer to us kon dafa mel ni ne government is listening to us because dégg naa foofu sa solicitor general moo call mu ne minister of justice ne call ak kii let them send and representative so that shows you ne our message is definitely government ñu ñoo déggul ñu they are hearing our message and they know that what Gala stand for we are not moving an inch until we make sure that our demands are met because we are not doing anything loo xam ne is criminal we apply legally either they give it to us or not ñun dañ gom ne we are relying on section 25 of the constitution we have the right to assemble and it's not an individual who is not elected to determine whether the citizens go out or they should not go out it's just to inform him to provide security for us so whether we have permit or we don't have permit we are going out because that is a guarantee and any law boo xam ne doesn't align with the constitution that is not a law that's our position and dañ bëgg a génne that whole colonial system of trying to put citizens to suppress them they wax ne you want to rely on a public order act yoo xam ne they were here to suppress us te loolu lañ fight on ñoom government bi bu nekkoon fii they were fighting for that law loolu moo tax ne during the opposition time bi dañ daan génna even without those things they wax ne public order act bi dañ ko war a repeal they were against it so doo mën a ñëw tey lu nga against nga ne you want to use that one because you think that it favors you so loolu moo nekkoon suñ position but all the time ñun suñ génne we make sure that we confine ourselves within the barriers of the law su fekkee ne like soo gisee sax ñu dem beyond the time bi because of dañ gis ne de a government institution boo xam ne mu ngi saaf ñun kooku moo ñu disrespect as the citizens of this country waaw mu bañ a ñëw so loolu moo tax sax ñu go beyond the time frame ni kon by 1:30 will dispatch because that's the contract between us and the central government that's so and when we went there for screaming so laajee ñoom our conversation was very healthy am na ñoo xam ne ñoom dañu ko ñaan ñu may leen am na ñoom tamit lu ñu ñaan ñu may because our protest was on the 22nd of July te mun nañoo insist if you are somebody ñoo xam ne we want to overthrow a government waaw so mun nañoo use loolu like ñu foog ne dañ ñëw pour overthrow a government we are not we ñun xam nañ ne there's only one way to go to state house that's election yaa ngi understand until otherwise yoo xam ne loolu moom si beneen boor la nekk loolu is not our intention ñun our intention is to hold government accountable te loolu moo tax when we have discussion ñu ne ñu génne ko si 22nd July we know that reason bi based on their intelligence lu ñu wax we think that is convincing and as citizens ñu accept ko ñu ne leen waaw based on you are the people who are in charge of security te yéen da ngeen def seen analysis ngeen xam ne 22nd July is not something boo xam ne is good based on your intelligence we accepted that ñu nangu loolu so we have other things yoo xam ne so that means that we are ready to make sure that we dialogue for the interest of this country so we are not criminals and we will never use anything and we are not here to overthrow the government our message is very clear end to corruption the government to be accountable and transparent to its citizens this is our message to the Gambian people.
Alright balaa ma lay bàyyi demaat ci ne ko am na beneen topic bu ma bëgg a ñëw bëgg